Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The young and the restless spoilers and updates lead us to ponder. Are Ashley Abbott's, Eileen Davidson, alternate personas really gone for good? Her comeback could put her mental health under scrutiny and enable her family to assess whether she is really doing well. Ashley faced significant problems after the Martin Laurent debacle. After the revelation of Alan Laurent as Martin Laurent, Christopher Cousins, earlier this year, Ashley faced significant emotional challenges. Y&R fans may remember how Ashley stepped in to support Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland, during her tough times, yet she overlooked her own healing process. Once Ashley recognized that she hadn't taken the necessary time to process the shock of Martin's identity and begin her own recovery, she made a pivotal choice. Determined to take charge of her mental health, Ashley announced a significant decision. Even though she was no longer experiencing blackouts or time lapses, she sought further treatment to ensure her well-being. Ashley went to a different clinic with a different therapist. Ashley was adamant about not returning to the previous clinic, as they failed to distinguish between Alan and Martin. Instead, she opted to reconnect with a therapist she trusted in Paris, deciding to continue her sessions with that same doctor. Ashley understood the importance of professional guidance to help her navigate the chaos surrounding Martin and address her trauma. Now, Ashley is preparing for a long-anticipated return home, as the show's preview video for the week of November 24th to 28th showcases her at the Abbott Mansion with her family. Ashley's comeback to Genoa City is perfectly timed for Thanksgiving, leaving her loved ones curious about her well-being. Ashley now feels healthy and stable enough to go home. After the reveal of Alan Laurent as Martin Laurent, Christopher Cousins, it's a positive sign that Ashley feels healthy and stable enough to return home. This likely indicates that Ashley's ongoing therapy has been effective, and she may have some good news to share. What is this? Hopefully, Ashley hasn't faced any further issues with her alternate personalities or the memory gaps that troubled her previously, although her alters could return in the future. In soap operas, anything can happen, but Ashley might reassure her family that she's in a much better mental state now, and quite likely is better at least for the time being. Ashley has dedicated the necessary time and effort to her mental well-being, so it seems like some great news is on the horizon. Ashley Abbott has weathered corporate wars, personal betrayals, and shocking family twists throughout her time in Genoa City, but nothing could prepare her for fallout that exploded after the Martin Laurent debacle. What should have been a carefully calculated business maneuver spiraled into chaos that not only threatened her professional reputation, but also pushed her emotional resilience to the breaking point. In the aftermath of the scandal, Ashley found herself forced to fight battles on multiple fronts, facing internal corporate backlash, fractured personal relationships, and the unsettling realization that she had underestimated a man who proved far more dangerous and manipulative than she ever imagined. The Martin Laurent partnership was initially pitched as a breakthrough opportunity, a bold step toward revitalizing various global markets that Jabot had been eager to secure. On paper, Martin appeared polished, credible, and innovative, someone with not only influence, but the kind of forward-thinking vision capable of reshaping an entire sector of the beauty industry. Ashley, who has always prided herself on her business instincts and scientific brilliance, believed that aligning with him would strengthen Jabot's position and help usher in a new generation of cutting-edge products. But behind Martin's charm and supposedly sterling credentials were layers of deception, inflated achievements, and a reckless desire for power that Ashley failed to detect until it was far too late. The debacle exploded publicly when Martin's financial misconduct, falsified research claims, and corporate manipulation came to light. Not only had he misrepresented key scientific data crucial to Jabot's research division, but had also used the partnership as leverage to pursue side deals that directly undermined Ashley's authority, her team's trust, and Jabot's financial stability. When the truth came out, it became a PR nightmare, painting the respected Abbott family company as negligent and raising questions about its future stability. As the executive publicly tied to the disastrous partnership, Ashley became the face of the scandal, forced to answer for decisions she had made under circumstances she believed were fully transparent and legitimate. The fallout was immediate. Stakeholders demanded explanations, employees feared internal shakeups, and rivals seized the opportunity to cast doubt on the Abbott leadership. Ashley found herself standing in the center of a storm she never intended to create. Worse still, the betrayal carried a personal sting as well. Martin had not only blindsided her professionally, but had gained her trust in ways that blurred the boundaries between business and personal connection. While not romantic, their working relationship had contained elements of mutual respect and shared ambition that left Ashley feeling deceived and foolish once his true motives were revealed. As the scandal deepened, Ashley faced tension with her own family, particularly Jack, who could not hide his frustration over how deeply the company had become entangled in Martin's schemes. Though Jack's anger was rooted in concern, the strain between the siblings grew heavier as media coverage intensified and investors demanded accountability. Ashley has always been fiercely independent, protective of her work, and determined to stand on her own merit. But the situation left her feeling isolated, struggling to justify decisions she believed were sound at the time yet disastrous in hindsight. Her confidence, which had always been one of her greatest strengths, was shaken in a way she hadn't experienced in years. Inside the walls of the Beau, the atmosphere became tense and uncertain. Departments that had once operated with efficiency and trust now whispered about blame, doubt, and potential restructuring. Ashley knew that restoring stability would require not only corporate repair, but emotional reconciliation. She worked tirelessly to correct the damage, reviewing contracts, reevaluating research projects, and holding emergency meetings with teams across multiple divisions. She refused to let the scandal define her legacy or destroy the company she had fought so hard to protect. Still, she could not escape the lingering question of how a seasoned executive with decades of experience had been so deeply misled by a man like Martin Laurent. The emotional toll was perhaps the most profound aspect of the entire ordeal. Ashley, who has endured trauma, heartbreak, and betrayal throughout her life, found herself grappling with a new kind of vulnerability, one that challenged not just her professional skills, but her sense of judgment. She had placed trust in a partnership that, in hindsight, bore warning signs she had been too optimistic or too eager to see. The realization weighed heavily on her, stirring feelings of guilt, frustration, and self-doubt that she struggled to silence even as she publicly projected strength and determination. In Genoa City's corporate landscape, scandals rarely fade quietly, and the Martin Laurent fallout was no exception. Rivals like Tucker McCall, always ready to capitalize on weakness, watched closely, assessing opportunities to exploit Jabot's moment of instability. Business analysts predicted shifts in leadership, and whispers circulated about potential coups, restructuring, and aggressive acquisitions. Ashley knew all too well that vulnerability invites attack, and she worked strategically to shield the company from any further damage, even as she privately wrestled with the emotional repercussions of Martin's betrayal. One of the most challenging aspects of the fallout was the impact on Ashley's relationships with those closest to her. Family members offered concern, but tensions ran deep as long-standing Abbott dynamics resurfaced under pressure. Friends tried to provide comfort, yet Ashley found it difficult to open up, fearing that every conversation would be laced with judgment or pity. She retreated into her work, seeking solace in research and strategy, burying herself in the parts of her life that remained familiar, controlled, and grounded in logic. But even as she faced the growing pressure, Ashley's resilience began to shine through. She acknowledged her mistakes, confronted the scandal head-on, and refused to allow Martin's actions to dictate her future. She led Jabot through crisis communications, restructured vulnerable divisions, and implemented rigorous oversight to ensure nothing like this could happen again. Her determination not only helped stabilize the company, but reminded everyone, family, rivals, and critics alike, that Ashley Abbott is far stronger than any setback she encounters. Yet, privately, she continued to grapple with the psychological weight of the experience. Trust, once broken, becomes difficult to rebuild, and Ashley found herself questioning not just Martin's motives but her own instincts. How had she misread him? Why hadn't she seen the warning signs? The self-doubt lingered like a shadow over her recovery process, shaping her interactions, decisions, and emotional responses long after the scandal faded from headlines. Now, as the dust slowly settles, Ashley is left navigating a new chapter defined by both caution and determination. The Martin Laurent debacle may have shaken her foundation, but also illuminated her strength, grit, and ability to rise even when circumstances threatened to pull her down. She has become more guarded, more analytical, and more selective about who she trusts, but she remains deeply committed to protecting Jabbo and restoring her reputation.